RuneScape Kingdoms, the role-playing game, is a fully illustrated, hardback book that contains everything you need to enjoy fantasy role-playing games set in Gielinor. It's a core book, which means it includes a complete role-playing system that's designed to be easy to learn, even if you're completely new to role-playing games. A tabletop role-playing game is a game of open imagination. Unlike a board game, which usually has a more defined structure, role-playing games have almost literally infinite possibilities. All you need to play is a core book that gives you the rules of the world you'll be exploring, a pen, some paper, and some dice, plus a game master to run the game, which could be you, and some friends to form an adventuring party with. Working alongside Jagex, we've made sure that this system really captures the essence of RuneScape, so you'll genuinely feel like you're playing RuneScape or old school at the tabletop. The core book includes a complete guide to Gielinor. For the Game Master, there are mechanics for taking your party on classic quests, and lore from RuneScape and old school, iconic characters, enemies and bosses you can introduce along the way, plus magic, prayer, crafting, equipment, summoning, and a whole lot more. For the adventurers, with the character creation system we've designed, you can create your character in just a few minutes and get straight to exploring. So let's take a quick look at exactly what's in this 200-page book. Chapter 1 features a gazetteer, giving you a detailed overview of the realms of Gielinor in the 5th Age. It's everything you need and want to know about the lands you're going to be exploring. And, let's face it, at certain points, saving during a game. This is going to be mainly used by the Game Master to add depth and detail to your campaigns. Chapter 2, that's about building your character. If you're an adventurer, this is where you'll decide who you're going to be, using the quick character creation system. Where are you from? What's driven you to adventure? Which skills are you looking to max out first? And of course, what we're going to call you. The choice is yours. Chapter 3 breaks down the core rules, telling you how to actually play the game. Want to know how combat works? Need to know how to dig out key resources and craft it into something brand new and useful? All in this bit. This section is useful for both running and playing the game, so both game masters and adventurers are going to want to check this bit out. Chapter 4 is all about magic, because what is Gielinor without spells? Not only does it contain the rules for casting magic, performing miracles, and summoning creatures, it's also got a whole heap of spells for you to cause havoc with. Chapter 5 is your equipment and crafting chapter. There's a lot of tables in here, and a lot of information, but we promise it is all valuable, necessary stuff. You're going to need to know how many bronze bars to craft a sword, how much damage that sword inflicts when you use it to whack a goblin. That's exactly what you get here. And Chapter 6 is advice on running your game. RuneScape isn't like other fantasy games, and Gielinor isn't your average fantasy world. So how do you take all the rules and ideas and lore we've been filling your head with for 5 chapters and put it into a tabletop role-playing game? We've got you covered in Chapter 6. And finally, there's Chapter 7. That's how numbers work. Here be dragons and goblins, vampires, trolls, and all manner of other nasties to fill your games with danger. And let's not forget the bosses. We squeezed as many iconic bosses as possible into these pages so you can learn to love or hate them all over again. Designing and writing the RuneScape Kingdoms RPG has really been a labour of love from both the Steamforged and the Jagex teams. Working so closely with the people who shaped and continue to shape the world of Gielinor has been instrumental in making it. Hours went into ensuring the game hits the right notes, and a lot of drafts were sacrificed to the cutting room floor. Mod Stu, Mod Jack, and Mod Ed were big sources, as you'd expect, and were vital in making sure all the details were accurate. For me, the most important part was making sure the TTRPG feels like you're playing the video game, but in a whole new way. When you're playing RuneScape or old school, you're not focused on the mechanics. You're focused on the activity you're doing, the quest you're following. That's what I wanted the system in RuneScape Kingdoms to do, to get out of the way of your story. Some of the more complex tabletop role-playing games often require you to keep checking your character sheet to work out what class feature you're using and how that triggers off a feat and so on. I love those games, but that kind of experience just didn't feel authentically RuneScape. I wanted to put you right in the story, have the game get out of the way, and let you be in Gielinor. So that's what we designed it to do. We knew there would be an audience for this game who may never have picked up a tabletop role-playing game. So it was extremely important when designing that we make it as smooth and easy to learn as possible while still having depth for the more experienced role players. And in this case, that depth is going to reveal itself over time. More or less, everything you are going to do in the game is based on rolling 3 6-sided dice. You'll then compare the result to a target number formed by combining one of your 3 attributes, strength, agility, or intellect, with a number representing one of the 21 different skills. I'm not going to list those skills, but trust me, you know them. Now, there's lots of different things affecting that roll and the target number, and you're trying to do lots of different things with those skills. But it really is pretty much that straightforward. I won't dive into every mechanic because we'd be here for hours, and there's one thing I wanted to spend a little more time on, and that's crafting. So much of RuneScape is about crafting, and I wanted to ensure we had a robust system for that. Collecting your resources and then turning them into something new is one of the focal pillars of RuneScape Kingdoms the RPG, as it should be. Obviously, the game master is able to keep a limit on when you're getting those resources and where you're finding them, but beyond that, pretty much the world is your crustacean. Potions, weapons, sets of armor, tools, you name it, you can create it. You can buy them too, of course. Every RPG needs a shopping scene. But as you'd expect in Gielinor, it can be cheaper and quicker to just train your smithing and make your own. It's been an absolute joy to share the book with the RuneScape and old school community so far and have their feedback help refine and adjust the content. You're a passionate bunch, and I hope that passion can be felt in the book and the finished game. It's a love letter to Gielinor in many ways from all of us here at Steamforged. So we hope you love it, and we hope you'll spend many hours honing your skills on the tabletop.